For a long time, the only trading card games that were in the mainstream were Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. There's a handful of secondary games that have some level of popularity. Force of Will, just to name one of them. Buddy Fight is another one. But Magic and Pokemon have been the two reigning champions of the trading card game space. Over the last couple years, a few legitimate competitors have came out. Flesh and Blood has grown in popularity. It's got a pretty consistent player base, and Metazoo has come out too. I wanted to talk a little bit about Metazoo. A lot of people are opposed to it. It's not a good game. That's what people are saying. I've never played Metazoo, so I'm not going to opine on that. Others are saying it's just being pumped up by investors and people just trying to chase money. Metazoo had some very strong creative partnerships early on for distribution. And it was launched on Kickstarter. It's starting to appear in more locations where people can get it. I've heard that people play it. I know they have events. But people are getting mad, I feel like, because the way that the prices behaved on Metazoo is if they're almost an NFT. So they went to this really high price, really fast on release. For $75 in Kickstarter, you were able to get one of these boxes, right? The Kickstarter boxes are selling for like 11 grand now. The regular Metazoo boxes were over $1,000. The first edition, the base set, if you will, were over $1,000, and then it pulled back substantially, and now it's around $600 or $700 for one of them. That is not normal behavior with a trading card game. It happened with Flesh and Blood, and now it's beginning to happen with Metazoo. The concern is there's not enough interest in the hobby, and the game isn't good enough for it to have longevity. And I will say this, it is far too early to make any kind of determination on the long-term success of Metazoo. I have a first edition box. A lot of people do. I got it early. It's up a ton. But I don't intend on selling it. And yeah, I could cash it in and realize some serious profits, but it took a long time for Pokemon in the United States to reach these highs. Same with Magic the Gathering. And people have this expectation of making really easy money. Look at what happened with a lot of different stocks on Wall Street in 2020. You know, GameStop, costs, all of these beaten down securities went up hundreds and hundreds of %. And I feel like it's kind of been a movement towards that just being an expectation of behavior. So that behavior has crossed the line into trading cards, games with some of the newer sets. And it's largely FOMO, fear of missing out, which is causing people to buy up these products, which is causing the prices to go up. In addition, you have large, significant YouTube personalities and card dealers who are hoarding the products to try to adjust the prices as well. If you're interested in Metazoo, or if you're considering buying it, I would say don't pay attention to any of that noise. It's substantial right now, but it would be really risky to buy a bunch of Metazoo with the idea that it's going to be up 1,000% in a year. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's too early of a game for us to really base any of the prior data we have so far on it. I think there's absolutely potential with the game, but it's going to take a minute for it to grow. So people can talk, they can hate it, they can love it, they can play it, they can not play it, they can hunt for some of these awesome holographic cards like the Mothman and the reverse holos. I love the reverse holos. But in terms of the performance, I don't think there's a single person out there that can give you an accurate opinion with real data as to whether it's going to succeed or it's going to fail. If prices dropped more on those first edition boxes and it was back to like $300 or $400, I might consider picking some up. Because just about any collectible trading card format, they usually go up in price in the sealed products in a longer time horizon. It doesn't need a big player base to realize gains. What it needs is some sort of interest that outweighs the total population. some of these first edition sets, I'm not talking about Kickstarter. It's out of reach for a lot of people, and that will be its own thing. That'll be like the first edition Shadowless base set booster box, right? Even if Pokemon had failed, that would still have value. And I still believe the Kickstarter box is going to have value. There's just not very many of them out there. But the regular first edition base set box did have some significant printing, but it was really small in comparison to basically what everybody else prints. I'm going to keep buying it. I think there's potential there, but the game could fail. And if it does, I think it'll still be profitable if you're buying the right products.